Hey everybody, from quickly warming up Calgary, Alberta. It's Joe from Six Cats Press here with a bit of a channel update. Last time I spoke to you guys, I was planning on doing a series of Joe Writes in Place to talk about writing, but you might notice that really nothing's happened with that for a while, and I wanted to tell you why. Well, I'm going to be upfront that everything's fine, everything's good, we're fine. My wife came back from Mexico from visiting her family in late July, and a couple of weeks later, Zuri, our cat, as you know, Six Cats is because I have the six cats. There's Lou, my oldest, Izzy, Fanny, Cassiopeia, the little black kitten that we found at the side of the road out in the country. And then there's Zuri, which is Aida's cat from Mexico, that I actually, when we got married, I went down and I got him and I brought him to Canada. And then there's Cooper, who is he's not the youngest, but he's the newest. And he's beautiful and wonderful. So Zuri got really sick. Happened on a Wednesday afternoon. We noticed that he had barely eaten his breakfast and he didn't eat his dinner. And he was acting weird, you know, how cats are sometimes. So we said, okay, if he doesn't eat his breakfast in the morning, because sometimes they'll skip a meal sometimes, but I had a feeling this wasn't going to be good, and Aida felt the same way. So we're like, okay, in the morning, if he hasn't eaten breakfast, we're taking him to the vet. I called the vet that Wednesday night, booked an appointment for the next day, and we took Aida took Zuri to the vet because I was working. And they were like, okay, we're going to give him an anti-nausea med because he might just have an upset stomach, and we're going to give him some subcutaneous fluids so that he's not dehydrated. But if he's not eating tomorrow, or if he throws up, come back. So we booked another appointment for the Friday. And again, Aida took him because I was working, and they said they did blood tests on him and said that his kidneys were basically shutting down. And that was really scary, and the doctor called me and said, you need to get your wife to take him straight to pet emergency, to the pet hospital, because of course, you know, they take the blood, and then Aida came back with him to the house, and they did the test and then gave me the results on the phone. So Aida took him straight to the emergency room, and I got off work pretty soon after that, and I came down, and he wasn't doing very well. They said he had a pretty massive kidney infection, and that's what they thought it was. They did a bunch of tests. We put him in the hospital overnight. We didn't go see him on the Saturday because we thought, okay, you know, he's on IV antibiotics. It's going to take a while for them to kick in. Let's just let him rest instead of them, you know, unhooking him from everything, bringing him to the front so we can see him, and then going back. And so on Sunday we went to visit him, and it wasn't great. His eyes, which are normally blue, had changed color. They were green. And so his liver was having issues now, and his kidneys were still having problems. Actually, the kidneys were getting better, but the infection and his fever hadn't gone down. So they didn't know what was going on because there was obviously an infection somewhere else, but they couldn't tell where. Lymph nodes on his neck started swelling up. It was bad. And we had to decide if we were going to keep going with him or say, you know, all these tests and prods and pokes, because basically the next step was we're going to do an ultrasound of the neck, and then we're going to biopsy his lymph node to see what's in there. And if there's nothing in there, then we're going to have to do his liver, and like, it's just all these needles and tests and days waiting for results while he's in the hospital just suffering. And so we had to decide if we were going to put him down or not, and it was really hard. And so we decided, okay, we're going to give him one more night on the antibiotics. We're going to see how he's doing on Monday. Monday, they called me and said, basically, look, we did the ultrasound on his neck. We can't see any major abscess or anything that could be causing a big infection in there other than his lymph nodes are swollen. We don't know why. So we decided that we would bring him home and give him one more day at home. His last 24 hours would be at home with us and the other cats. And we would have a vet come and put him down on Tuesday night at home. And the vet did say, you know, when we went and picked him up on Monday, they were like, okay, there is, you know, I don't want to give you false hope, but there is a chance. There is a chance that he will, when he gets home, feel a little bit better and more comfortable because he doesn't have all the needles in him and, you know, he's in a familiar setting. There is a chance that he will eat. And if he eats, call us and we will give you meds to, you know, 'cause they sent us home with just pain meds to manage his pain. But we'll give you antibiotics and we'll keep going with treatment until, you know, and then if he stops eating again, then, you know, put him down. And so we brought him home and he stayed in our living room on a nice big bed that was very comfortable for him. We had a litter box there just in case he used it. And you know, we had our last day with him. Yeah, I worked from home that next day and he came up and laid in a little bed in my office with me and spent some time with me. And, you know, I was barely holding it together to work, and Aida was, she wasn't holding it together nearly as well as I was. And we were about 4 hours from when the vet was going to come and put him down. 4 to 6 hours. You know, it was the middle of the day. They were going to come around 6. And Aida said, okay, I'm going to try to feed him. She brought him into our room. It was dark. It was cooler in there because it was really hot. And it was darker and cool in our bedroom. So she brought him in there and she sat next to him and she tried to get him to eat some of his favorite canned food. Didn't want any. She gave him some water with a syringe. He drank that. But, you know, nothing was going good, and it was really sad. And she said, she sent me back downstairs to go and see if there was any other kinds of food we had in our cupboard that he might eat, that he might try. So I dug through all of our snacks. I got the greenies that he likes. I got all the stuff. And then at the very back of the cupboard, I found these little tubes of these yogurt. Like, they look like yogurt treats that we used to have when we were kids. But they're like soft cat food puree, like baby food almost. And I had completely forgotten we had them, so I brought one up just to see if he would eat that. And he wouldn't touch the greenies, he wouldn't do anything. But what Aida took a little bit of the yogurt treat and put it on her finger and held it in front of him, and he licked it. And we were able to get him to eat an entire tube of that. And so we called the vet, and the vet said, okay, that's really, you know, that we're really happy to hear that. Come down, we're going to give you more medicine. You know, call off for now putting him down, because, you know, he might, you know, with some more antibiotics, and, you know, he might be turning around. And luckily that's exactly what happened, and he's still here. He's not in the catio, just Fanny's in the, oh, he is in the catio. I'll show you him later. But, you know, he's still here, and, you know, it was so close, you know, so hard. I'm still kind of not over how close it was to us losing him. And if I'm completely honest, I really kind of feel a little bit guilty, because on that Sunday, when I saw how bad he looked, I was going to put him down that day. And if Aida hadn't brought him home and insisted, no, we're going to give him one more day, then we're going to bring him home for 24 hours, you know, she put her foot down. If we hadn't done that, he would be gone. And we wouldn't have him right now. But we do. So that's kind of what happened, and that's kind of why I haven't been posting anything, because in addition to all of that stress and anxiety and nonsense, you know, we have a really big vet bill, and so I'm not going out to places nearly as often because I'm trying to save money to help pay for this unexpected, you know, almost $6,000 vet bill for Zuri. But we still have him, and I'm grateful for that. So if you got kitties, give them a good hug for me. And once we get things squared away here, and I'm hoping, I've heard back from my editor that I will be getting edits from her, hopefully next week. So once that happens, and, you know, we can pay off the vet bill somehow and put this behind us, then I'm hoping I'll be back to being that Six Cats Press writing in places thing. But thought you should know what was going on. And anyway, I'll show you Zuri in the catio now. Zuri cat. Yeah. Oh, and then there's Feeny and the black kitten. Now they all want to be on camera.
I don't like my mind right now, stacking up problems that are so unnecessary. Wish that I could slow things down. I wanna let go, but there's comfort in the panic. And I drive myself crazy, thinking everything's about me. Yeah, I drive myself crazy, 'cause I can't escape the gravity. I'm holding on. Why is everything so heavy? Holding on to so much more than I can carry. I keep dragging around what's bringing me down. If I just let go, I'd be set free. Holding on.
Why is everything so heavy? You say that I'm paranoid, but I'm pretty sure the water's out to get me. It's not like I made the choice to let my mind stay so fucking messy. I know I'm not the center of the universe, but you keep spinning around me just the same. I know I'm not the center of the universe, but you keep spinning around me just the same. I'm holding on. Why is everything so heavy? Holding on to so much more than I can carry. I keep dragging around what's bringing me down. If I just let go, I'd be set free. Holding on. Why is everything so heavy?
I know I'm not the center of the universe, but you keep spinning around me just the same.
I know I'm not the center of the universe, but you keep spinning around me just the same.
And I drive myself crazy, thinking everything's about me. Holding on. Why is everything so heavy? Holding on. So much more than I can carry.